Many games have checkpoints which save your position in the game, so that when you die you can respawn back on the checkpoint. This allows you to create games with multiple levels that will then send you back to the last level you saved a checkpoint on. So you can make your games more challenging while also being more forgiving depending on the amount of checkpoints you place. First, you need to make sure you've got something that you can use as a checkpoint. Let's make a new script for our checkpoint. So we want this to do the same old detect if I'm overlapped by the player thing that we've done a bunch of times before. So we're going to say when created, disable my physics. We're also going to say when the level starts, save the player as a variable. And grab the tag, first instance by tag player. Now we want to check if we're overlapping it, so that's constantly if myself overlaps the player. Now, what do we want to do when the player does overlap this checkpoint? And remember, you might have multiple checkpoints. What we want to do is save the location of the player and save the level that we're on as global variables. That way, across every level in the game, that information, that data, will still be saved, remembered, and accessible. If we were to use a property variable, it wouldn't persist across levels. If we use a global variable, it will persist across levels, and all objects in every level can access it. So let's do that. We're going to make a new global variable. We're going to make 3 new global variables. Player's X position, player's Y position for their starting positions, and the number of this level that the checkpoint was triggered on. So, global variables, set true false I. This will be a number variable. Let's start with the player's starting X position, so where they should spawn at. New variable, player start X position. And we'll save that as the current X position of the player when they overlapped the checkpoint. Let's go to transform. We want to get the X position of, not myself, but of the player. Now the same thing for the Y position. We want a new variable for player's starting Y position. Player start Y position. Good. To the Y position of the player. And then finally, we want to save the current level that we're on. So yet another global variable that we want. That's going to be a number variable. New variable. Let's call it checkpoint level. And this value should be whatever the current level is that we're on. And that's a number. Let's go to control flow and grab go to next level, and current level will actually be a number. The way that the level numbering works is the very first level is 0, the next one is 1, the following level is 2, etc. So it starts at 0.